Hail, you Warhammer players, and welcome to the definitive podcast for the Warhammer 40k enthusiasts in the Inland Northwest. Your hosts are me, Jeremy, All Day 40k Nakano, and Joey Bettingfield, Painting Bettingfield. How we doing, Joey?
Hey, we're doing all right. We're both sick, but we're going to make it through this.
We are. Today's episode is Challenger Cup Breakdown and the LVO Prediction Show. But before we get going, you can always find me, of course, on TikTok, and Joey over on Instagram. But Joey, you have something cool to announce. Tell the people.
I do. On top of, or in addition to this episode being brought to you by Nurgle, it's also brought to you by officially Baron of Dice. We over here at the Yawp are now affiliated with Baron of Dice, the makers of the highest quality custom faction specific dice built to match your army or your playstyle. Or if you don't find anything you like, which is insane, you can get your own custom dice made over at baronofdice.com. You can use our affiliate link to help out the channel, help us out a little bit, which will be down in the description. Make sure to use promo code YAWP at checkout for 5% off.
Excellent. Yes, I'm a big fan of the matte dice, and I think that Baron of Dice makes the best matte dice around.
Yeah.
Now, before we jump into some real content, let's hop into some hobby progress. I have nothing real to report. I've been so busy the last few weeks. However, I did build a Logan Grimnar, fixed up some Thunderwolves and built some Thunderwolves and got them to ready to actually start painting, but I'm not going to show you guys that. That's not necessary. What about you, Joey?
Yeah. Well, I do have to ask you, did you glue the twins onto the base?
Of course not.
Thank God. Okay. Whew. Yeah, that would be...
No.
It's a gorgeous model, but good Lord, you cannot paint that thing together.
Logan is, number one, I did a little lore listening about Logan Grimnar. And he's got a cool, he's the coolest character in 40k, probably, as far as I'm concerned.
It's like your second lore introduction, so I'm interested to hear how many times that we say that same phrase about whoever you read. But yes.
Well, I did some lion stuff too, and he's boring.
Unfortunately, the lion is pretty boring. Yeah, Logan's pretty sick, though.
But Logan is dope. His axe is dope. So, it makes me want to paint him a little bit more. So that's why he moved up the ladder for the Escalation League. It won't be a good choice. He's not great on the tabletop, but he is a cool, an amazing model. So very excited about bringing him in.
Crazy model, yeah.
Yep. What about you, buddy?
Well, cool,
what you been working
on? I've actually done a pretty good bit of hobbying recently. It's pretty crazy.
Ooh, do tell.
So, let's see. I'm going to get this thing shared here. Let's get in here. All right, we can see it. We see it. Here we go.
Oh, yes, we do.
So, over at Real Deal, we did a little painting competition for just 5 clan rats. And then I guess the theme was you get 5 clan rats and then you get a color, and that's what the robes have to be, and everything else is up to you.
Oh, that's a fun challenge. Okay.
So I got orange.
Excellent.
And I then decided to paint each of the rat's skin or fur in a different color.
Very cool.
We've got this guy.
I'm really happy you put that rust down.
Yeah, I really like how the rust came out here on this guy's armor. I tossed it in the chainmail all over the place. I did it's hard to tell just because, orange is already hard, but then pictures too. So
yeah,
I highlighted everything far more than I ever highlight. That is an actual edge highlight here.
Right.
And then the robes are all done up, and oh, here we go. See, we got some little boops right here.
Yeah.
We got wood grain.
It does look nice. Yeah. Did you win, or are we not submitted yet?
We don't know yet. They haven't announced yet.
Huh.
I hope so. So they're doing there's best overall, and then there's best in each color.
Okay.
So, I really like this guy. All of his little zits are green.
Yeah, so he looks great.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And that kind of inadvertently, I guess, because it was one of those things of yeah, I guess I'll do it. I don't really have anything else going on, so I guess I'll paint these guys. Why not? And then after sitting down and actually working on it, it sparked my desire to paint again.
Okay, that's great.
So that has moved us into, make sure we get the right one. Here it is.
Yeah, there he
My
is.
AdMech test scheme.
Yeah.
So this was like the robes are just contrast. So, obviously things will be refined as we move forward, but this is just the basic premise here. So, the wood gun, I think, is a really cool concept, and then brass for everything. So these are my little Arizona T AdMech. Um, it's Eldari Emerald was the contrast, which is in my top three favorite contrast like tones.
Yeah.
So I got that guy done, and then today actually I got
Wow.
all this sprayed.
Look at these AdMech boys.
Yeah. So this is all sprayed and now ready for a little bit of detail. I mean, unfortunately, this is, like 200 points because it's AdMech, but whatever.
Right. Wow. No.
No, it's way more than that. It's
Yeah.
way more than that.
Yeah.
This right here actually is close, maybe more than 1,000, like 4 robots, and the character is almost 400.
Okay.
And then the 6 are breachers, and their character is like over 400, and these tanks are 165. So like it's pretty close to 1,000 points right here, but
Is Call in there?
he's in the list. Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait to see
Yes.
what you
Oh,
do for your
absolutely.
Call.
The call that I have currently is painted, and I will show it at some point. Aaron painted it, and he was trying a like John Blanche style,
Okay.
and I think he actually did a really good job. And I kind of wish that he would have kept the army, but it's mine now.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that call alone. I'll probably get another one
Okay.
and paint it at some point, but right now it is my call currently is painted, so I don't have to worry about it.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, I'm proud of you. Well, welcome back
Yeah.
to the world of hobbying on a more frequent basis.
Yeah, it was good. It was a nice change. It was just like I got the wheels turning. I started doing it, and then, I mean, it's the life of ADHD, right? I'm just gonna ride this train until it stops, and it will.
100%.
It always does, but I'm just gonna ride it until it stops.
Yep.
So
Excellent. Well, it's been a couple weeks since we were here. I got sick last week. Still sick. And you're fairly sick today. But
yeah,
let's talk about what's been going on. Went to the Real Deal for an RGT a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, you couldn't be there this time around. And with that, I was cleared to take my first Real Deal win. So that was exciting. Large in part thanks to opponent win percentage, because I happened to get the harder opponent at the end of the day when Austin did not. And we both went 3-0. He had more battle points, but I faced off against Rigo, who brought Custodes. And Rigo knows how to play pretty well, but Dark Angels Custodes are better than regular Custodes. It's that simple.
right. Yep.
And yeah, overall, it was a really good tournament. Had a lot of fun. Played Chansey round 1. And he brought a Tunnel Snakes list that was all melee. So it's not good. I was really lazy in round 1, and I left my entire backfield open for him to just walk in and kill Azrael and all of my chaff on turn 2. Chaff in quotations.
Right.
And I still won by like 45 points because he couldn't kill anything else.
Yeah. I mean, once he kills those couple of things, and then he can't kill any of the big stuff, and you kind of just get to do whatever you want at that point.
Pretty much. So,
and he's already there. You don't have to move closer to him, so you just get to kill.
Yep. The upgraded Lion is the best time. It is so fun to play. I'm so happy with my list. No notes on changing it anytime soon, but yeah, just a joy. So that was a good time. And then the most important thing that I did in the last couple of weeks, of course, is that I got to go and be a non-player coach for Lightly Salted C division in the Challenger Cup, which is the biggest team tournament on the planet. With they had 66 teams, 64 were able to come of 8. So like about 500 people worth of attendees.
Yeah, it's a bunch.
Yeah.
Do you know how many teams WTC got this
They
past year?
had 40 something, I believe, like 44
Okay.
nations. Now, to be fair, the level of talent at WTC is much higher because it's a much more prestigious event. But Green Banner did an exceptional job by hosting this one.
Not surprised.
Yeah, the overall winners of the event were the Aussies. The Australian team actually came out
Yeah.
to play at this event, and they crushed everyone, including notable standout the Art of War. And it wasn't a crushing. That was a very close game. They were very lucky to
Yeah.
win that match.
It was a very close round. But I mean, to their credit, I will point out a little bit as I was keeping up with the event as much as I could. It wasn't like, I'll explain after I say it because I don't mean this in a derogatory way. It wasn't like Art of War B team.
No, it was the
Like,
Art of War
it
players,
was
yes.
the Art of War. It was all of the main, like, the heads, the
Yeah, it
whatever
was Jack,
founding fathers of Art of
Nanavati,
War.
John.
Like, it's
Yeah,
they
were there.
worked for that. That was a hell of a win for them. Yeah. So the explanation, I'm not B team, not to say that other people on Art of War are not also incredibly talented. They have earned their place there. Just saying important names.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really good matchup. I think they had like, I don't know, it was like maybe like a 92-point win or something like that. It was very, very close. Huge. And for those of you who don't know, like, you have to have 85 points to win. Anything above that or anything below that to 75 points is a draw. And then so yeah, that's what you have to kind of go in thinking about in terms of like how close of a game that was. It's like the equivalent of winning by a point.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty wild. And that's considering that was it Lennon that somebody on Art of War lost 20-0?
It was Jack.
And the whole round was still that close.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
Yeah. I was
teams.
really, really surprised to see that score out in the end. But Art of War took second overall, and it was awesome. That said, let's talk about what I did. So, as far as the event is concerned, non-player coaching is really difficult. Like, objectively, one of the hardest things I've done in 40K yet. I was totally lost round one as far as like how best to do pairings. Like until you actually do pairings, you have no idea what you're doing. So actually sitting down and making the decisions was interesting. And the first day was a bit shaky, but if there's some important things for anybody who is considering being a non-player coach, I would definitely consider getting a clipboard and then having some kind of document that helps with your player status that they can just point to things without saying words. Because the trick to coaching is that you don't get to offer strategic advice. All you do is get to walk around, watch the games, and then tell people to either push or hold back, or to, it's more or less that, push or hold back. But otherwise, you just kind of hang out. So that is the how I spent 3 or 4 days this weekend, which was like honestly kind of fun. I'll get into like the lessons from it all later, but my team included Nick, who was playing Death Guard. He was one of our best players on the team. He's one of the best players in Utah. And that guy just, man, he's just methodical. He didn't actually get a ton of practice leading up to the event personally, but he still just clapped every matchup that we put him into. It was wild. And then we had Aaron Nafla. He's playing Grey Knights, and he was my very like big surprise. Like he's definitely one of the better players in the area.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize how good he was. I've never seen someone in person pilot Grey Knights like he does, and it's just like it's really awesome. So his list was the Storm Raven, 3 of the character Dread Knights, and then just a bunch of stuff, just a bunch of it's Castellan Crow and Purgation squads. Not Purgation, but the you know,
Yep. Whatever.
the reroll hits guys. Purifiers. There we go.
Purifier.
Reroll wounds guys. Sorry. And he was awesome. He was so good. He dropped 1 loss at the end, and that was just on a coin flip. Then Drew, friend of the show, was playing Needguard Votan, and he had 12 Steeljacks, 6 shooty, 6 melee, and boy are those good models. They are so strong.
Is he 4 units of 3 or is it 2 units of 6?
2 of 6 because
Okay.
The Overwatch is no joke on those things, on the guns, especially in the meta right now. And then the melee just don't die, and what they punch into tends to usually die.
Right.
I wouldn't
The
necessarily.
perfect combination of
It
melee unit.
it's really interesting, but it's like it's just from volume of attack. It's not like they're super effective. They're very fascinating as far as units go. I will say that like 32 Steeljacks is probably or 36 Steeljacks is probably not the answer. We faced a team that had like 24 of them or something, and just kind of bodied that list because that's what they were relying on. But yeah, it was interesting. Friend of the show Natalie was playing New Index Knights. So
Yeah.
yay! We had Zach, who we put on Kirk's list.
New index?
Well, the Valor Strike or whatever.
The codex?
But yeah, so they implemented
Okay.
the Codex a week before the event, which Nat was not happy. I don't think anybody was about that
Yeah.
specifically. But yeah, so we went into, or so she brought those. I think it's Valor Strike, and then Zach, he's a NIDS player, and I more or less gave him Kirk's list, and I said play like a bully, and he eventually had a few really good games, which was great. Clayton was probably our anchor when it came down to it. He didn't get as much opportunity to put in as much practice leading up to this, and he's fairly new to competitive Warhammer in general. So we put him on what we've considered to be a fairly safe list, which is AD Warrior spam on Necrons, and it turns out it's not a very safe list to play. So there's that.
You have to be pretty specific with how you put your pieces out.
Yep. And then of course we had James, who is the captain of Lightly Salted. The whole Lightly Salted presented 3 different teams to this event,
Yeah.
and he's the captain overall, like kind of like the head honcho of the team itself. And he was playing Reacher's Wager Kari, and he had a pretty good weekend overall. Once we figured some stuff out, he was solid. And then Chase was just playing good old Chaos Knights, the Lords of Dread detachment, which
Mm-hmm.
the reason we stuck him on Lords of Dread specifically was because Chase got like 2 games of practice in over the course of 3 months, which we knew wasn't going to be enough. So James and I made a decision and said, this is your list and this is how you're going to play it. Which it was just kind of like, you're going to go for a turn 3 push, hope that we get you into a fairly vehicle heavy matchup, and your Melta Knight just kills 2 and you get to go. Spoiler alert, that didn't work well almost at any given point.
Fair enough. Unfortunate.
Learned some stuff about that.
Yeah.
As far as almost all the matchups go, I felt I was fairly schooled in most of the pairing processes, especially for the teams who've done it more than once. Especially early on, I had no idea. I was deer in a headlight. Just kind of put my team in some rough spots often. Like poor Natalie, I put her in really, really rough positions throughout. So so really pairings are a science. And if you don't actively practice doing them, you're going to have a rough time with it. Just like playing the game itself.
Yeah. It's a whole nother side of it.
It's a whole different thing.
Which I think it's interesting because I mean I have also non-player coached, and it's so much different. You wouldn't think that it is, but like now you know how different non-player coaching is than player coaching. Because player coaching, you do your pairings and you go, oh, sorry, we fucked that one up a little bit, but you're in it with them. You're like, hey guys, sorry, but it sucks for everybody. Whereas in this situation, you go, shit, we fucked that up, and then you just walk around as the person who's not getting shit on. You're like, oh man,
it is objectively the most stressful part of being a part of the game as far as I'm concerned, because like if you just have your game, that's one thing you have to worry about. But if you have to worry about 8 games, it's just a totally different like kind of stress. So I found that to be quite
it is a very
fascinating.
different. Yeah,
Sometimes you get really unlucky with like the kind of team you end up getting paired into. Like this whole team that we played into, a couple teams that just had melee pressure, and we're like, we just lose. Cool. And it was just like, all right, now we know. And then just some teams are just good. They just like really put in the effort beforehand to get there, or they're really well practiced. We'll talk about those games as we go. So actually, better yet, let's jump into that now. So, and then we'll follow it up with like the real lessons learned. Um, so Our first matchup was very unlucky for us as a team. We got paired into the Rose City Ruffians. Now, if you don't know who that team is, that's the team with Lucas Troller, Tyler Bortel, Alex Pena, Nicholas Fromm. As yeah, some of the best players in Washington, let alone the United States, um, all on one team because it's more. I mean, it's kind of like the WTC America's like Team B from this past year, and they were all very good. And we walked into that one with number one getting tanked on pairings, but we got beat like we stole something. I think we scored we scored 47 points. Ouch. Overall, we did have, let's see, one win. I think just one, and a tie, couple of ties. Yeah, we had one win. Aaron Nafla, out of nowhere, pulls out a win against Tau with Grey Knights, which you think about that and you're like, that shouldn't happen. It really should not. And so it was at that point I was like, oh, I know who this is now. Like this is someone I can depend on in every pairing moving forward. So that was super exciting. Drew, bless his heart, went into Tyler Bortel and just had the longest game of stay in your deployment zone ever and got us a draw, which was awesome. And then Nick also got us a draw into their league's player
Okay.
and then everyone else kind of got their asses handed to them.
Yeah.
Which is totally
I think that's
understandable.
another really interesting thing or like section of stress I think that you got is that like guest judging, you were learning or you had to learn in the tournament who people were and what they were capable of when you needed it. I coached for my team. I know what my guys can do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a big piece of like how weird it was. If you're gonna coach for a team, like make sure it's a team you know. Like if I were to coach this team again, I know who these players are and I know what kind of list to put them on,
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot to help kind of figure all that out. So yeah, it was fascinating. The biggest green, silver highlight we got from this overall was that Nick taught James how to handle the Eldari matchup. Like
Good. Okay.
Nick's just, like one of the coolest fucking dudes ever. So he's just like, here are some tips about how to actually handle this list because I know it's everywhere. As Drew Kari, and he helped explain a few very
Mm-hmm.
important things. And there was a few really, really good teaching moments for people throughout the tournament about that kind of stuff. So that was dope. But yeah, really good win for the Ruffians. They had a pretty good tournament overall. But yeah, that was round one, and it was fun. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Now, once we kind of shook all that off, we got paired into a team more our speed, Double Dutch Rudder. Now, most of Double Dutch Rudder is a team that the lightly salted crew knew fairly well, and we got to play with people that were almost exactly as skilled as my players were. We had the advantage this time in that there was only me as the non-player coach, which it is an advantage to have somebody with a clipboard. Like it really is.
Yeah.
As far as everyone goes though, so we did have to put Drew into Richard Kilton, which Richard is or was one of the best orc players in Utah for forever. But he's an older guy and he's taken most of 10th edition off. So he was a little out of practice, and Drew had a 7 into him, which, he got paired on a WTC board. It didn't go great. James gets paired into an Eldari next. I'm like, I'm throwing you an Adam. It was it was either James or our Grey Knights, Aaron, that we threw at
Yeah.
Eldari every time. And they will never take the Grey Knight
Mhm.
matchup, sadly.
No, they're not going to choose that.
They don't want to give him a red. Well, we handed him a yellow anyway. James pulled a 16-4 on that, which was dope. Chase surprised us all and got a tie into Tau with Chaos Knights. We were very excited about that. And then Aaron pulls off another win. And this one we actually planned for because we gave him sisters. We said, go have fun.
Okay.
You'll have a great time with this. And he did. He had a blast. He got a little squirrely there for a second, but he had a good time. Clayton got fed to the World Eaters, and World Eaters just eat AD. So there's that.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He shout out to Clayton for maintaining a very positive mental attitude throughout the entirety of me feeding him to the wolves every game.
Which is huge. Like
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Yeah. Zach got to play into Death Guard, and I think this is where he learned his most important lesson during the tournament, which was to leave his deployment zone.
Yeah.
Yes, he was playing very cagey for the first couple of matchups, and he got smacked around pretty good by this Death Guard player, and then we talked about it and it was just like, all right, man, you just gotta start walking forward. You can't, like, when you're playing big bugs, the whole point is to stat check people, and people can't punch through that much heavy stuff. It's that simple. So yeah, he learned a little bit harder there. And then Nick crushed his opponent. Good old Ricky. Ricky is somebody who I played at Mountain West. He was playing almost the exact same list that he played against me.
Okay.
Except the Silent King no longer ignores modifiers. So Nick had a great time and 20 out him. Ricky, you're the best. Love you, buddy. And then Natalie had a close game into Jordan Gledhill, who has some of the most beautiful custodies you've ever seen. And she got in a 9-11 loss. So that led to our first draw of the week. And shout out to DDR. They were they were one of our more fun matchups that we had against anyone. Super cool dudes. All right. Which then takes us to round 3. Round 3 is day 2 of the tournament because it's 2 4-hour rounds a day. And our first matchup of that morning was into Anvil of Faith and Mid-Table Mercenaries against us. And this was our first win of the tournament. So this is an exciting one. First and foremost, Zach Peterson, we put him out there and against Guard. It's an Astra Militarum army where he was playing Index Detachment, Combined Arms. And it was just like a lot of not the right tanks. And so we said, okay, go get him. And he just ran at him and it was great. Pulls off a 14-6 and was like, good for you, buddy. That's what we need from you. So really good job there by just kind of taking all these losses that he had taken on day 1 and turning them into like, okay, this is how I play this army. So that was awesome. The second game was into Vincent Malmrose with Clayton, and Clayton got a 9 in this matchup because we put him into GSC. So we just put each other's the mud lists into each other and just let them play in the mud. I would never in my life ever want to play that game. That looked miserable. To have a bunch of stuff that can't kill into a bunch of stuff that can't kill. So, but hey, good on Clayton for getting that win. Or that close to a draw. Drew beats Chaos Knights. Hey-oh, good for Drew. And then Chase takes almost a red into World Eaters. So he got sacrificed that time. He pulled a 6. So good for him. Aaron pulls off a big win against Orcs. This Orc list, dude, was so fun. It was Cult of Speed list. And
oh my God.
And now you're thinking, this list is trash if it's Cult of Speed, right?
Hey, weird things work in team events.
Now imagine this, if you will. 18 Mega Knobs, each with a war boss. 3 trucks for these Mega Knobs. 2 sets of 6 Defcoptas.
Defcoptas slap.
Defcoptas
are so good.
They're so fun. When he got the pairing, he's just like, he was freaking out. He's like, let me explain something to you. He's like, I'm going to lose this game very badly. And I watched this game.
Who got this matchup?
Dark Grey Knights player did.
Okay.
Because all the profiles is like this beautifully painted army. It was awesome. It was super thick. All the profiles were just like perfect in the Grey Knights. So what does he do? Turn 1, he sees an opening and winds up in his deployment zone on turn 1, which makes him wah on turn 1 in his deployment zone, which was awesome because Aaron pulls off a huge win in this game because of that. And then he just plays his ass off and just picks everything off very carefully through the rest of the game, getting us a 16-4. Nick he paired into another Nick, playing Imperial Knights, and he smoted them. Just ran them over with a 20-0. Nat played a good game into Death Guard herself, so we gave them each other, except Nat got 7. So, boom, give us points. Good for her. And then James got Eldari again. He became our Eldari professional.
Okay.
And 20 would that guy. He had the same exact list that Nick had. Obviously, not
Sheesh.
Nick from. But
Right.
overall, great game. DDR was or I'm sorry, not DDR, but Anvil of Faith, and Mid Table Mercenaries. It's a lot of words, guys.
Yeah.
They were dope the whole time, and that was our first win of the tournament. Which, like, it just took a massive burden off their shoulders, I think, to
Hmm.
get that. Now,
Yeah.
you've done your fair share of coaching. What is that? Tell me about that first win.
Yeah. I think it's especially going into, I mean, was this their first team event, those 8 players for your team?
They've done team events, but like really not a lot. It was close to. So they did the Challengers Cup or whatever last year, and it didn't go great for most of them.
Right. Yeah, I know Natalie didn't play last year. She was there.
Yeah.
She was commentating, but
Yeah.
she didn't play it last year. But yeah. So especially in that kind of environment, um, for people that aren't used to it, even if you're used to big events, this is so different. Like a 550 person major singles is for some reason so different than that 550 team event. It feels so much different. There's a completely different level of stress, obviously, on the players. And then we already talked about what the non-player coaches kind of have to deal with. But even then, it's like stress, but then also some of it's a weird mix of stress and relief, right? Of like they're playing their game, and then you're like, I lost my game, but that's okay. I scored 7 points, and that, we were able to win the round, and that's great. But then there's the flip side of that is like, oh, well, 7 of my teammates are already done. I'm the last one playing. I don't know how that went. Nobody else knows. So, or they can't tell me. So is this how this round shakes out? Is that completely dictated on me? And that like amount of stress and whatever is huge, not being used to it. And so going into that environment, especially day one, just like you get your ass kicked, you talk a little bit, you're like, okay, cool. You go to the second game, you do a little bit better, but you still get your ass kicked.
Yeah, right.
um, the good news, day one's over, right? So you kind of just go back, you relax, try and, you know, scrape some of that dirt off and wake up to play more Warhammer. And then, yeah, I think getting that first win is just huge.
It feels so
It's a
nice.
confidence booster.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels nice. And even little things like you don't have to win the round, right? Because you guys drew round 2,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But like the personal wins are still huge. They feel so much more impactful. And even honestly, it's a truly fascinating environment to me, because you'll see these little things. I think, who was it? I don't remember who you said, but you'll see these ones where you're like, hey, go play this game and try not to get 20 would, but understand that you're probably going to get 20 would. Just try not to, right? And then the game's over and they're like, oh, it was a 12-8. And you're like, holy shit, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. And like, no, they didn't win. But you also knew going into that they were never gonna. And so just being able to score points is this little confidence boost that it doesn't exist anywhere else. And it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch.
Because in singles, you're just a loss is a loss and your tournament is all but over. But in a team environment, if you get 2 or 3 points when you were expected a 0, that's a huge win
Yeah.
for you. So
Right.
it's awesome. So let's get into our game 4. Game 4 was into the Las Vegas Mine Goblins. This team was interesting. One of the opponents was very drunk. They were nice guys, but like there was some weird behavior across on the other side that was like a little weird and a little shady, and like some light lies were being told, some passive aggressiveness a little bit. Just of all the opponents that we played into, just like a group that wasn't super on the level, it felt like.
Right.
But hey, look, they were better players than we were and they beat us. But the way the game shook out, we put Nick into Joe. Joe was playing an AD Necron list that it had no warriors in it. All of us were very confused by it. And we're like, well, this one looks like a 20-0 kind of list. Let's put Nick into it. And that game, he was just like, he was like, hey, this is probably one of their best players, objectively, even though I was
Okay.
told by the captain that he's one of their worst players. And yeah, and he was like shook when he lost because like Nick beat him by a lot. It was 17-3. And Nick was like, I'm really happy that I got this pairing because he probably would have smoked anyone else. So it was a hell of a game. Drew got paired into Death Guard. Now, some weird stuff happened with this game. Number one, Drew's brother was in town watching him play, so that added some pressure for this game. And then Drew just kept getting sidetracked by people. Like Kicker came by to talk to him for a little bit. And so he didn't get the opportunity to draw. Like he forgot about 200 points worth of Broke Your Thunderkin that were off the board. So 2 squads of 3, which in that matchup is key. They are 2 of the most important pieces for that matchup. And so he took a 14-6, a 4-16 loss. Eaton again sacrificed to the altar of Khorne, went into World Eaters and got 20-0'd mercilessly. And then Aaron Nafla, our Grey Knights player, went into Chaos Demons. And this matchup, he was just like, hey, I could lose this one because 4-ups are 4-ups. And I'm like,
yep,
you certainly can. And I'm sorry for this pairing. He's like, we'll see what happens. And his opponent had the coldest dice I have ever seen in my life. That matchup was over in an hour. Aaron 20-0's him ass. He had to leave. Like that guy had to leave for the day. He was so mad, which I do not blame him. They were bad as far as dice goes. I made some really good choices. That certainly helped, but 3 units more or less taking down the big green guy with the buff. You know what I'm saying, right? That guy.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. That it typically takes 86 wounds to kill that guy.
Yeah. Great and clean one.
Great and clean one with the in perpetuity forever buff or whatever. That's
pretty sure. Yeah, it's in perpetuity forever.
Awesome.
Is the name of the enhancement.
I know.
It's 35 points. Yeah, or something, whatever.
Yeah. So normally that takes about 80 something wounds to get through that, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
He did it in 40. So it was rude, but he got him. Yeah. And then Natalie again goes into Custodes. We took for granted that Natalie's last opponent, who was Custodes, was a very nice man. Mario, also a nice dude. Like, don't get me wrong, Mario was super chill. Mario ran Natalie over. It was 20-0. Sorry, Natalie, for that pairing. We didn't mean it. And
hey,
Zach,
sometimes it happens.
Zach comes in and gets his first big win by dumpstering their Drukhari. We saw this Drukhari list and we're like, oh, we know exactly what we want to do with this. And he just ran at him. 18-2 overall, which I was just like, good job, buddy. Yeah. You just keep getting better at this stuff. James got to play into Leagues of Votann. This Cody was like a really nice and genuine dude, but he was drunk for half of the game and it super threw James off. He would like walk away with the clock running while James was like rolling his dice and stuff. And she's like, what am I supposed to do? All he had to do was put the clock on him and wait. That's all he had to do.
Yes.
That was it.
That's all he had to do. You just stop rolling dice, hit the clock to his time, and wait for him to come back.
Yep. And so he comes back and eventually he sobers up. I knew he was sobered up when he took his sunglasses off. And
that's a good sign. Yeah.
And James was pushing so hard. He was so stressed out, poor James. And he just lost like bad. It was like a 19-1.
Wow.
Yep. And then Chase played into orcs, and these orcs ran him over good. There wasn't a lot we could do. They had so much melee pressure that we just couldn't handle it. And so with that, we lose the round 100-60, which, I mean, all we had to do, it was reasonably close still. Like a little better pairing, a little bit of better prep, a little bit more reserved play, and we're in it.
Yeah.
So
because 16, and it's so interesting to look at, right? Because it doesn't sound like it, right? But when you look at the math, 16 points. You needed 16 points to tie, right? That's 2 points per person. That's it.
And they're really easy points to get too. All Andrew has,
Mhm.
or like all Drew has to do is remember his 6 dudes. That's it. Like that's big. That is 8 to 12 points alone right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all James has to do is like slow down a little bit, play for the draw. And we're in winning range at that stage.
Mhm.
So, and then maybe pair a little bit better and it's there. So like this match was very winnable. And like I know like they said they weren't like didn't feel they were super on the level. I don't They were fine opponents in the end, but there was just things that all of us were a little about. So whatever that is, it is. But that ends day 2. I went straight back to the B&B. Drew went to go eat dinner with his brother. Everybody just kind of like dispersed. We had a talk at the end of the day. I'm just like, guys, once we get pairings, everybody needs to just read every list. Just read every list and have a base understanding of it, and then look at the terrain format so you know exactly what you want.
Mhm.
So we came into round 5 like much more kind of I guess like ready, like mentally checked in, prepared to go. And we got paired into a team that I am very familiar with, as I've played almost all of these players at one point, called the Northwest Warhounds. So obviously coming out of Washington, and captained who was it captained by? Let me grab his name. It was Sean Nasto. Sean is very known for being like a all chaos knights all the time guy. And I was like super stressed about this matchup. James was late, and James has been my pairing buddy the whole time. And I was like, screw it, doing it live. And I just sit down to do the pairings by myself. I'm like, all right, whatever, let's just go. So the first game that we got, I was like, you know what? We're going to first defend with Grey Knights, which you'd think that's not a good idea. Except everybody is convinced that Grey Knights aren't good into regular Knights. Grey Knights are great into Knights, as it turns out. Nafla 20-0'd Wes in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Just
That
dropped
sounds
every
like 2
night.
nights a turn.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
brutal. I
You
was
go
just
2 nights, and we're done.
yeah. It just clapped him good. Now poor Wes was like injured, like very injured. But he got picked up like a hip injury working out. He was on crutches. That poor guy. But super cool dude. We ended up hanging out and talking a lot during this matchup because the game was over so fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, great job, Aaron. Really, really well done. And we figured out at that point that like, oh, we'll take knights every time. Super happy. Nick goes on, continues his rampage into this time Blood Angels. Now, Wes Wright, they had 2 Wes's. Wes Wright is a guy that I see a lot at tournaments. And he just unga bunga'd at him on super heavy WTC terrain. And Nick just said, all right, I'll just wait. And so he did. And he 20-0'd him pretty quickly. Granted, his dice were pretty on fire that game. And then we put Zach into Leagues of Votan, into Joshua. And this was the list with all of the Steeljacks. So it was like 24 Steeljacks, maybe more than that. A couple of land forts, a few Thunderkin. And and he was so like worried about this matchup. And I was like, buddy, you just gotta run at him. Your profiles are good. His damage is pretty low. And so he did. And he got his first 20-0 of the tournament.
Okay,
So that's
feels good.
3 matchups, all
Yeah.
20-0. We're like, all right, this is going well.
A good start.
Sean goes into Clayton, and Clayton pulls us 4 points, which we were like, you were supposed to get a 0, buddy. Good job. Thank you. That's all
Right.
we need from you.
See?
Just get us a few
Yep.
points. We didn't really need him this game because Drew goes into Marty. Marty's dice are cold. Drew wins 14-6. Chase pulls a tie into Custodes, and I want to make a special recognition of Chase here for pulling this. It wasn't, the standard all the Wardens Custodes list. Let's just be very clear about that. But it was somebody playing a list that is good into his list as a night player.
Mm-hmm.
So him getting a 10 was massive. That was huge. Great job. James plays into Jason Bird. Jason Bird is the guy who runs Slaneshmus, one of my favorite humans in Washington. And Jason and I talked a lot throughout the game. James is freaking out. He's stressed out. And Bird coaches him to getting these 6 points throughout the whole game. He's just like, hey, man, hey, if you do that, I'm going to take your home and you're going to get 20 owed. Like,
Yeah.
he had to do it like 3 times. And he's just like, Jeremy, come here, come here. Hey, if he does this, I will 20 him. And I look at the scenario and I look up and I'm like, he's right, James. Don't do that. And then James like finally calms down and he's just like gets through the game, gets a 6. I'm like, that's what we needed. Thank you. And then Natalie pulls a 7 into Eldari, which
Okay.
this Eldari list was Spirit Conclave. And it was just like a bit memey, but she gets it. She needed to kind of just run at him, I think, as it turns out. But it was a good game. She's like, I recognize that I played this a little too cautiously, and that was good. So we pulled off a big win. We got a 101 to 59. And it felt really comfortable because everybody got like good points into them. So it was awesome. So that's our second win.
Yeah.
Round 5, we're going in to round 6.
6. Yep. There we go. Okay.
Yes. Last. This team is called Sanctum. They are a team out of Houston, Texas. And with them, their mercenary is Floof Cox. Good old Floof.
Good old Floof. Friend of the channel.
Friend of the channel. Buddy, love to see you. We're Facebook friends now. We hugged a lot and took a shot together. But I was like, everybody was just like, hey, man, you handle the pairings. You've been doing pretty good. Just do it. I'm like, cool, no problem. I was feeling comfortable at this point. I probably shouldn't have felt comfortable at this point. But I was just like, we've seen the list. Let's see how it goes. So we put our Necrons into their Grey Knights. Their Grey Knights were running a very similar list to our Grey Knights. And I should have been more astute about that and giving Clayton this matchup because it's really good in infantry. And Clayton got 20 0'd. Sad times. Then we put Drew into Death Guard. Drew loves going to Death Guard. It's one thing he wanted to do a lot of, and he got to do a lot of it this past weekend. And he got a 16-4 win on this one.
There we go.
He really started to feel comfortable in the matchup, and that's mostly what he wanted to do was get those tough matchups in preparation for LVO. And then we put Chase into Connor, and Connor was playing Black Templars. It's our first time we saw Black Templars, and there wasn't a list that we had that did anything into this list. There was not one winning combination. The best thing we might have had would have been Drukari, I think. And that's maybe for a small loss or a tie. But he kind of ran Chase over. Connor is very good at this game. And then we put Aaron into Eric, and his luck finally turned on him. And I don't know if you know Eric Nelson or not. He's really, really good. He's out of Texas, though.
It's a familiar name. I've heard the name.
Okay.
I can't put a face to it.
That's all right.
But yeah.
Tall guy, super kind, big brown beard. Very cool dude. And I watched this game flip on its head. Were it not for his dice to finally not be average, it's a 12-8 win. So
okay.
Everything just flipped at the end. And it was like, oh, okay, no worries. And at this point, like in this game, I gave the please just have fun.
Yeah.
Push. Like it wasn't a push. It wasn't a just reserve your points. It was have as much fun as you can. James got a cool win into Necrons. David Miracle was his name. Super cool dude. Like the nicest man. David was like,
I think you have to be.
We love
name's
this
Miracle.
team.
Like, what are you going to do?
Every one of them were such a joy to hang out with. James pulls off a pretty solid win. So he got a 15-5 into that, which was great. And then Nick pulls off a big win into Chris Johnson, who's playing the War Dog Spam list. Nick wanted this list. He's like, this is 20-0. This is 20-0. We're like, all right, bud, do it. We get him the pairing on a fairly open WTC board, and it is not a 20-0. He does get the win. It is a fairly big win. And Chris and I are talking, and he's like, this is a really good player. He's like, yeah, Nick's probably one of the best in this building, aside from Art of War and Australia, of course.
Sure.
But yeah, Nick's a very good player, and or not Nick, but Chris is as well. And then Nick comes over. He's like, that guy was so good at this game. It's like, and this list fucks. I'm like, that's awesome. I was super excited to hear that like they're good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that was dope. And then we put Natalie into Floof. So that was just kind of a sacrifice, a sack fly, an out pairing at the end, effectively. But she did get a point. So
Hey,
hey, that's almost an auto 20-0 every time.
right.
Our hope was that Zach was going to be able to pull off another big win into their Adeptus Mechanicus. But what I forgot is that we're not playing Crusher. If he was playing Crusher, he wins that game every time. However, he was not.
What was the AdMech detachment? Which detachment was it?
I forget. It was not the one that moves fast. It wasn't Halo Screed, but it was just like a bunch of stuff, right?
Right.
And he didn't go first is the problem. So had he gone first, he would have been able to get out of his deployment zone and never die.
Mm-hmm.
He had no problem killing every damage dealing unit across the table, and he survived every volley of shots from all those chickens. He was, if the game lasts one more turn, it could flip,
Right.
So yeah, had he gone first, that game is probably a win. A close win, but a win no less. But yeah, and that was it. We got beat. We watched. So we end the tournament, and it was fun. It was really, really cool matchup. Really enjoyed the time overall. Really proud of everybody for putting in like nobody came apart at the seams, which is awesome. I do feel that we deserved a 2-3-1. I don't think that there is a better result there for us effectively. Because we weren't practicing as a group. They're all locals, but they don't get as much practice as they should have. And I didn't really know what I was getting into. I understand it now and like would feel very confident going in as a coach, so long as it's not a team I barely know, right?
Right. Yep.
So would I coach again? It's hard to say. The situation has to be right. Now, for any of you out there who are considering coaching or anything like that, or being a team's coach, or trying to figure out who should be your team coach, I feel that it should be a very specific kind of personality.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be kind of a confident dickbag. And that's kind of who I am when it comes to tabletop and all that.
It's it's an A-type personality.
Right. You need the leadership traits to be able to tell people no and be able to explain to people that I'm going to give you a shitty matchup and you're going to have to deal with it. Do your best. So, what do you think are some really good coaching qualities for folks?
No, I mean, I think that's like that really hits the nail there. Like you have to be assertive and dominant, but you don't have to be like, obviously, I mean, it's just leadership stuff, right? Like you don't have to be a dick.
Right.
And the level of dick that you don't have to be, I think, kind of scales with how much you know the people and how much they do or do not trust you. It's a sliding scale, but in general, yeah, like it's just, you have to be confident in like, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to tell you that, and that is the end of it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's on me, but that's the end of it. If you don't listen, that's your fault. Like it is very direct and very, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know the word I'm looking for.
I think it's just it's a measure of confidence.
Yeah. It is being able to make that just, this is what we are doing. Go do it.
Right. Like our intent is that you got the bad matchup because we can get better matchups because of it.
Right.
That's simple.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. If I end up doing it again, great. But if I'm going to be a mercenary, I want to be a player.
Right. Yeah. Mercenary coaching is a bit strange. I don't know that I would want to do that.
It was partial mercenary just because I know Nat so well and I had Drew on the team.
Right.
But still, yeah.
Yes.
I really wish I had gotten the opportunity to play. I think I would have had a lot more fun, but it's fine. It's their team. And overall, we had a great time.
Which is what matters ultimately, right? It's still a game. So have a good time.
Yeah. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk
Okay, I'm ready.
about the Los Vegas Opine. How many total signups do we have, Joey?
The Loose Vagoose?
The Loose Fagoose. I think it's like
Man,
560 people or something like that.
it's a number. I can look.
Sure. I think I looked earlier. I think it was roughly 560.
Which sounds about right. Yeah, 564.
Cool.
So,
Which is half the size of the LGT because
yeah,
Games Workshop decided to say that this is no longer the premier event of American Warhammer.
right.
How do we
I
feel
mean,
about
there's
that?
like 6 different factors, right? There's Games Workshop decided, hey, like you just said, this is not the event that it was. It moved to a different time in the year, which a bunch of people were upset about. People don't like change. So, obviously, this first time, and because it changed, there's 2 LVOs in the same year. There's a lot of people that just can't
Afford
manage
that?
that, and
Yeah.
that's expected. Uh, and like I said, people don't like change, so there's a little bit of growing pain with that. Next year will be different. There was LGT this past weekend. There was also the Challengers Cup this past weekend. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's a busy time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of factors that make it make sense. I mean, at this point, I think it's another super major.
Pretty much.
I think in the coming years, we're still going to see that 8-900
Right.
as people get used to the change.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think it's just going to be FLG's biggest event, not the biggest event.
Yeah. I suppose we'll see. This year, I'm kind of sad that I don't get to be there. I did just go in January. Now that I realize how close I could have been to being the top Dark Angels hobbyist in the world and not going, it does make me sad. But that's okay. That's okay. We made
Well,
good
there's a
choices.
Tri Cities is in October, right?
Uh, yes.
So that's before the season ends. Season ends in November.
No, it's in November 1st, is Tri Cities.
The season ends, I think, middle of November. It's after Worlds.
I might be able to go up a few points, but I won't catch
There you go.
Homeboy at the top, I don't think.
Well,
But that's okay. That's a
that is
okay.
okay.
Let's talk about the list prediction. So I think there's a few lists that are very clearly going to be ever present. But what about you? What do you think? What do you think that people are going to see at LVO?
Yeah. I mean, I think we have a pretty decent list. I do think that there's going to be a pretty significant number of AdMech there compared to years past.
Yeah.
If we look right now, so stat check yesterday, the only issue is that I am not sure if they included the Challengers Cup in their win percentage tracking thing.
Gotcha. Wow.
If they did, then there were like 8 AdMech players, which were like 4 or 5 of them are in like the top 5 AdMech in the world. Like there's some of the best players. But AdMech this past weekend is sitting at 59%.
That's wild. But
which
it makes
is,
sense.
It does. They just have the answers to what people are playing right now.
Yeah. They have the answers and everything's cheap.
Everything's cheap. Everything's cheap. Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of those. I mean, obviously, Knights and Chaos Knights, that's pretty normal. I do think you put 50 plus Berserker World Eaters,
Yep.
which, yes, I think Berserker Spam has a decent game and will exist and will probably do well because it just kind of catches people off guard. However, there is also the whatever 9 Exalted 8-bound with 3 Slaughterbound that kind of just fucks.
It's really good.
My team, we did the math. I say they did it. I read it. Just the Exalted 8-bound, not counting the Slaughterbound because it's a whole different thing, into a toughness 12 2-up save on the charge. The Exalted 8-bound do 16 damage to any tank in the game. Average.
Gross. I hate that.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. And then, then there's the Slaughterbound's damage after that. One Slaughterbound that gets the Berserker Glaive has an equal number of damage, so his squad does 32 and kills any knight.
Wow.
So all 3 squads can charge big vehicles or knight equivalents and kill 3 in one turn, theoretically.
That was the list that Clayton played into in round 5? No, round 4.
Yeah.
It was all the
It's pretty
slaughter
wild.
bound.
Obviously, it's super lean, but it's one of those things that, like, if it touches you the way that it wants to touch you, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like, there's really nothing that they don't kill. It's pretty wild.
Sounds like a really strong
So
list. Like, people shit on the World Eaters Codex when it came out. I don't understand why.
they did. They shit on it a lot. Codex is good.
Yeah.
That codex is good.
Really good codex.
It's just different. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just the meta is now accepting of it. I do feel that all the people bringing lots of World Eaters are probably going to suffer the same fate as the ones at LGT, and they're going to get knocked out pretty early on. But they're going to have a great time in the mid tables for sure.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I do think that the most present list that we're going to see is going to be the Black Templar spam. The two Rep X, 12 Blade Bros, character spam. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
That list
It's very good.
Just take on anything.
It's very good. Yeah, it's not like it's really just not super afraid of anything. Like, obviously it's going to lose. It obviously is going to lose games. It's not a like tier 0 situation, but it is. It's not just like it's not afraid of anything that exists right now. It's not going. You're not going to walk up to a table as the person playing that list going, "Oh man, I'm going to get dumpstered." Like, that's just not going to happen.
Right.
So yeah, that list is very, very strong, and it will definitely exist.
Then just because they have new models and they're so popular, Space Wolf, Beast Slayer, 15 Wolves with Vindicators.
Yeah.
It's hard to go wrong with that list. It's just fast, it's strong, and the right pilot's going to go, 7-1 with it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, realistically, yeah. Yeah. It's just fundamentally a good list.
Yeah, absolutely. Has been for the entirety of 10th and will continue to be. So what about triple despoiler chaos knights? How many of those are we going to see? How many triple gats are we going to see?
I don't know that we're going to see. I think one at least with our friend Paul. I'm pretty sure he's still triple gat.
Good luck, Paul.
As in, I think he's still triple double gat.
Yeah, triple double gat.
I don't know how many people are going to do triple double gat. Probably no one else.
Why? It's so good. It's still so strong.
It is, but why not have one of them with thermal lances?
Because if you're running Hellfire or whatever, you do more effective guaranteed damage with double gat.
That's fair. Yeah. And I think that's just going to come down to how stubborn the Chaos Knights players are and choosing to not play Lords of Dread.
I suppose. After like seeing it, I don't know why you play the other detachments, like outside of the Hellfire Lance, whatever, the one with the lethal hits.
Yeah.
Because that's so good. It's unreasonably
It's so good. It's quite strong.
Like that, I don't know. Feels like that's just the most guaranteed damage and utility available because there's movement shenanigans with it too.
Yeah. It's quite good.
Yep.
I'm a fan. Yeah.
We'll
see, all 6 of Emperor's Children's data sheets. Like, legitimately all 6. I think Fulgrim is actually playable now, so a number of people will show up with him.
Well, there will for sure be a multitude of Fulgrims. They will not win a lot of games with Fulgrim.
No. I didn't say he was good. I said he was playable.
Yes, he is playable.
So
you can indeed place his model on the table.
It is a marked improvement from his release.
That's true. But I think the Raven Guard list is going to shit on a lot of people.
Yeah. I think Raven Guard is kind of spicy. Yeah. I think the issue that I see holding that back, like holding people back from playing that one, is just, it sounds weird. It's purely desire. It's how many people want to play that.
That's a fair point. I think it's the sweatiest list available right now. And so you're going to get the meta chasers. You're going to see a lot of very poorly painted Devastator Centurions running around.
Sure. Yeah.
So they're just going to copy and paste John Lennon's list. It's so good. So I can't wait. I mean, turn 1, come in from strat on your opponent's turn. My brain doesn't work right now.
Rapid Ingress?
Rapid Ingress, yeah. Turn 1 Rapid Ingress because the army says you could do it. Pretty good. Throws people off. Good. And I believe that they're ruling it right now that they still get the +1 to wound. Dude, there's that. I know
So they're
LGT said
saying
no, but I'm not
right,
sure what
because
GW is
what they're
doing.
saying, if I'm playing Raven Guard and you go first and I rapid ingress on your turn, on my turn, I count as still having shown up this turn.
I believe so. Yeah.
That's wild. That's crazy.
Yeah. They are the one army in the game that can just fucking do it.
Well, I mean, I know that they can show up. I don't think getting the bonus is, I don't think that's right.
You mean for like the Ultramarine, like the standard Marine bonus? +1 to wound
Sure,
on
no, you're
oath?
definitely getting that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're definitely getting that. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you're saying. What is it's Shadowmark Talon.
Shadowmark
Okay,
Talon,
so
yeah. You know what I also figured out?
tell me.
The Lion can start on the board, and if I go first, and in my command phase I choose to pick him up off the table, he doesn't have to come back
Mm-hmm.
down.
Mm-hmm.
The Lion can rapid ingress on turn.
Yes, he can.
That
Because he started the game on the board.
because he started the game on the board. And I think that that's the same thing that the Raven Guard are doing effectively.
Okay, so they're going first.
I think so.
Right, it's Raven Guard going first, and then they use the strat to pick up 2 units, and then they rapid ingress them. Then that would be correct, yes, if that's what's happening. I thought you were saying
But from my
Raven Guard
understanding,
going second.
from my understanding, what people are saying is that they also just kind of get to. So I'll double check that to get clarification. So I'm sorry if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's going to be interesting. I think you do have a good point in saying that like not everyone's going to be playing it because who really wants to put in the mental energy to play that army? Because it is hard to play. And if you don't already have all those units, you don't have those units for sure. Like they aren't just sitting
Right.
on your shelves.
No.
And even at its peak, when Vanguard was kind of like dominant, people weren't playing Vanguard. A lot of people weren't playing Vanguard anyway. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting one. I would like to see somebody play it and like pilot it well just to see what it can do.
Well, for any of you out there, we're just going to give a free shout out to The Art of War. You can actually watch that on. I think they put it on YouTube. I don't know. Or you could watch Nick Fromm's game with John Lennon a couple weeks ago. That was on War Games Live, and you could actually see it all play out.
Yeah.
John is so good at Warhammer.
He's a robot.
100%. Now,
it's the only thing that makes sense.
Are there any other lists that you think are like would be like the evergreen for LVO
of high performance or of
what do you think? Like there's just going to be a lot of
appearance.
Yeah, of high appearance. Mostly.
I mean, there's going to be Custodes. There always is.
Oh, travel army.
Yeah, I think there's still going to be a pretty decent amount of like heavy tank guard.
That makes sense. Yeah,
because just with the right tanks, they deal with all of the vehicles that all of the other lists that we've talked about are going to have.
Right.
So I think that's still gonna happen. There's, I don't know, Death Guard are still good. They're obviously not like the menace that they were. They have to make, I guess, exactly enough decisions for them to lose games now, which is cool.
Yes. Apparently Death Guard are like really good pilots are going to continue to be awesome with Death Guard.
Yeah.
But not everyone can just like put a Death Guard on the army on the table and just win, apparently. So there's that.
I mean, I'm excited to see Death Watch
Me too.
do really well again.
I hope Mark Hertel is bringing Death Watch.
Think, how crazy would it be if we get 2 years in a row that Death Watch is in the top 8?
It would be amazing. And
That'd be great.
If it's Hertel, dude, like you never like he will be in the top 8.
Then obviously, right. I hope so, because they got nothing but buffed, man. They're
the whole extra unit of stuff. Like people are down on it.
Entire extra unit.
I don't know why. It's the same stuff from last year, the same time.
Yeah,
with more stuff.
Literally the same. It is exactly the same. It is all of the same rules. Nothing changed except they got another unit.
And the meta has only softened up for them. It's perfect for them. People are being ridiculous about Death Watch. I do not get it, guys. It's good. It's good.
It's so good. I still want to play them, but oh well.
Yeah. I could do it. I just won't. If you're going to LVO, guys, you need to really keep an eye out for Wartbane. Like, don't underestimate Grey Knights.
Yeah,
It will fuck you up.
they certainly will. Yeah, 14, and regardless of, there's going to be the people out there who played Chaos Knights for the past 3 years and didn't have big knights because they weren't worth it, and they still have whatever 87 war dogs that Natalie has.
Yeah, right.
And 14 war dogs in the war dog detachment is good. I don't care what anybody says, it's good.
Yeah, look, in a small vacuum, one war dog at T9 and 14 wounds isn't that strong. But when there are 14 of them running at you at T9 14 wounds, that's a lot of wounds to have to deal with. You only have so many resources designed to kill that stuff. And if you get threat overloaded and don't properly deal with it, you're just going to lose.
Yeah, because it's so, if you look at regular Chaos Knights, right? Like you look at triple despoiler, and it's like triple despoiler, 3 or 4 armigers, right? If you kill 2 or 3 armigers in a turn, you're feeling pretty good. I killed 2 or 3. They've only got a couple dudes left. It's harder for them to play the game now. Actions get weird, yada yada yada. You kill 3 or 4 war dogs against 14, it almost doesn't matter.
Your capacity to kill knights throughout the game will dramatically reduce. And so you kill 3 or 4 turn 1, congratulations, good for you. Good luck with killing that many as they come bearing down on you.
Right. Since you put your knight killing things out in the open, the unit that's designed to kill a big knight and is wasting efficiency on an armiger is going to kill 1, maybe 2, and then they're going to get picked up by the 7 other war dogs that are behind it.
Yeah. It's
good.
It's good. It's going to be good. And if you underestimate that list, you will lose every time.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, Joey, we've been talking about LVO lists for a while.
We have been talking about LVO lists for a while.
Tell us about your list.
Yeah, man. We'll probably talk about it more next week, because the one thing that I get to go do is put my tiers on my 15 grotesques that don't exist anymore.
Rest in peace.
My God, I'm so upset. Anyway, my LVO list officially does not matter, as I unfortunately am no longer going to be in attendance. This past weekend, I got pretty sick, so I am still recovering from that. Deemed it, I mean, I think Sunday night, I kind of decided, unless things drastically change, which they haven't. I'm obviously improving, but hasn't drastically changed. It doesn't feel like a safe and smart idea to drive 16 hours.
That's fair.
And then Monday morning, we woke up and my daughter is sick. So between me being sick, my daughter being sick, and my wife going to school, I have decided to stay home and take care of my family, as we have to do sometimes.
It's the correct thing to do when one is blessed by Nurgle.
Yes. So.
Well.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I was excited for the last hurrah of the beast packs and the grotesques, but it's okay. I'm not, like, it's one of the things where I'm like, overall, yeah, disappointed that I'm not going. I was looking forward to it. It was going to be fun, but for the reason, not upset at all. These things happen, and I will choose my family a million times over. Like, that's not a question. So
that's great. That just means that you and I get to go to one more GT together this year. Maybe.
It seems that way, yeah. So it's quite possible.
Okay. Well, with that, I think it would be important for us to say good luck to all of you going to LVO. May your dice be ever in your favor. Remember, you should go to Baron of Dice and use the code YOP at checkout in order to get a 5% off those dice and to give us a little bit of clout. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Just a little bit. But yeah, also, I mean, use the affiliate link down in our description here when you go over there, just to help us out a little bit more, so that the kind Baron can see what kind of numbers we got.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for joining us. We welcome your comments, your questions, your concerns, and even topic requests. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you next time at the YOP.
We'll see you around.